I was on a parish staff for about a dozen years, and it seemed like there were a couple of times each year, especially right about now, when we would start to wonder among ourselves, the staff, the pastor, our parishioner leaders, how could we connect with all of those people who will come on Easter Sunday morning who we've never seen before and we may never see again? And granted, many of them were family members of parishioners who were just in town for the weekend, but most were people who don't have an active life of faith, who have walked away from the things that we know are most important in our lives as Catholic Christians, and who have fallen into a routine that doesn't give God a priority place in their lives. And so finally one year, in the midst of having this conversation about what could we do, we found ourselves thinking about how we needed to help those people to recognize that there's always an open door with us, that we're not standing waiting to condemn, that instead we truly care about them and their lives of faith, their families, and all of their spiritual needs, and that we really wanted to be a part of helping them to fall in love with Christ and to live that love with the rest of their lives. So we did some very simple things, which I want to share with you here very briefly in this little video. And then I've put it in a document form that you can download and have conversation about in your meetings in this next week or so, with the idea of perhaps doing something like this in those weeks following Easter this year in your parish. What we did was very simple. We put together a tiny little group of people. One of us was responsible for the RCIA. One of us was a person who was very familiar with the process around annulments. One of us was a person who knew what was happening in our parish for families and children. And another of us was just really good at answering people's questions about Catholicism and about the things that were available to people to help them in their lives of faith in the future. We put together a little bulletin announcement. I've included that in this document that I'm sharing on the site. We made announcements at all of the masses for the couple of weeks before Easter, on Easter Sunday morning itself, and then for the week following. And the announcement was very simple. It was simply, there's always an open door here. Whether you're the family member or the friend of a parishioner and you're now wondering about Catholicism, or maybe you've been away from the Catholic faith for a number of years and are now thinking about perhaps returning, or maybe you just have some questions and you would like some answers. Whatever your situation is, we have a caring team of people who would love to meet with you and to talk with you about possibilities for your future. And then, not the Sunday of the octave of Easter, but the Sunday following that, at a gathering just after our last Sunday morning Mass, we sat down together and we talked. And by the end of the meeting, we had helped people to strategize their next steps personally for them, how they might take a step closer to Christ and to the church through us as members of the body of Christ. And so I encourage you, as you're thinking about all of this in these final weeks of the season of Lent, think about how you might send that message to the people who will be with you on Easter Sunday morning. How might you help them to know that there is always an open door, that Christ waits and that we wait, and that we welcome them warmly as part of our body? Thank you. Know that you'll be in my prayers this Lenten season and into Easter. May Christ be with all of us as we continue to minister and to serve. God bless.